no, that's okay. But anyway, yeah, did you hear the bad news from Iwan? Well, suddenly, he and this farter who was involved in that harassment episode after I have to go to Mr. Packett's supervisors and remind him that we do have an unexplained death. The state health officer has always said, you know, you're to take, you know, Doug's word as well as mine. And anyway, so they're claiming that they don't have any proof of a crime. He's always been looking at this as this murder since we figured some of this airway things out. We're getting ready to meet one time. David's been busy till after Thanksgiving. We've been in touch on it. When it comes time to getting interviews, there's some preliminary things about the morning and stuff. People start giving McMillan's information. They start giving me this. It's just funny. I know what's going on. And all of a sudden, no, I'm getting this resistance, and now they're back to this excuse that, well, you know, they don't have a crime because the, you know, the medical examiner said, you know, and that kind of thing. So, anyway, but, so what well, I thought it was funny because, I mean, that's not all what happened in the medical examiners, you know, just lied. And he fabricated airway inflammation. So, okay, so there is a point where, and actually there's this one more tape, I don't know if you, well, in fact, I'm trying to think here of this kid at the, this is just really unfortunate. And I thought Marilyn Trotter was talking about someone getting hold of me, but Mr. Mizell survived an explanation for this death certificate. This is this kid at 7 years old. He hasn't even got this tape yet. Now he staffed it. They said it's never been opened and it's closed.
Hi. How are you, Chuck? This is my brother Ian.
You should hear the rest of that one. Anyway, what? That's Shauna at 7 with her little brother Ian sitting there. And one time she even went, I hate my brother. Oh, yeah. And she said, oh, I got a friend, Katie. Katie's not here. I mean, hi, Shauna. Oof, isn't that freaky? Anyway, yeah, we haven't even got to this point and the rest of this information, and now they're suddenly going back to this open and closed, and Farter told him, and he's his boss. And what do you mean reopen? What do you think we've been working on? You know, it's, you know, I mean, maybe they should have did this to a stupid person's kid, and he wouldn't have been able to figure it out. But don't blame me. But all of a sudden he's saying, well, no, there's no proof of a crime, and he has no real good excuse. Well, she didn't suffocate to death on her airway, and he knows that. I mean, he has more information in this case than you probably do in most murder cases, right down to the detail. Now, all these things with Mizell, all these recordings, I played some of it for Trop Group, and if we have to make some kind of a motion to say, hey, they're going to use your stupid autopsy thing still as an excuse to not interview people when we get down to the final 30-page document. You know, Doris gave 7 different stories on record as to what happened. 7. 2 of them to Officer Reamer and Schiller at the same time. Jelly bean and all this crap. It's all spelled out in the 30-page document. It all comes out of the reports. 7 different stories as to why she had to call 911 or what happened. You know, during the call before Reamer gets there. She changed it because she doesn't have one. Anyway, so, you know, if someone has to try and actually, why do you think this Chris Sperry guy, I talked to Agent Bolker this afternoon, back out of this thing and said he doesn't even know Mizell, and he's been caught up in about 7 different lies. Why do you think he backed out of it? Because he knows it's a put on. Dean Wilson was in a legislative session. He knew Sperry and Mizell knew one another. That's why he gave me Sperry's name. Anyway, if Mizell has to come to a courtroom and explain for this death certificate, and this airway inflammation he laid on super thick on page 6, it's the only place he ever really elaborated any, comparing it to other vital tissue like brain, heart, lungs. Oh, and look at this, from the epiglottis down to here, acute inflammation. Now we've got this scope 2 report showing a good look at the epiglottis, and again, no inflammation there. And then there's this x-ray in this picture, and, you know, if they're going to default to Mizell's, if they're going to go back to that excuse, I don't, you know, I've always encouraged, you know, get a hold of Mr. Dwelly, and you better correct that death certificate, and just, you know, if they use this excuse. But anyway, Mr. Mizell could not survive any kind of formal explanation on record as to how he got this wrong. Have you ever heard of all of the, you know, this is the one other thing that I was going to try to remind, oh, that's what that was, after that packet pulled that stunt, I mean, I talked to the guy on the phone, I send him how many emails, and he doesn't get back to me. But after that council in March, when I said, hey, I found out there's been a nurse over there, now look at a kid who's been dead for hours. There's been a tube shoved down her throat, face taped up. Kids were removed from the scene. There's been a nurse over there. And he doesn't get back to me, then he gets mad when anyway. This is sometimes it's just, this is these little segments of the, I had to get it ready in case he didn't seem to understand, to be reminded that Mizell doesn't make his opinion. He doesn't do that. Now this is parts of it. You heard the whole. It's unreal. See? Mizell's logs. And even Mizell saying how he doesn't get into detailed circumstances and you're not meant to. Well, anyway, he deliberately tries not to be too specific about what happened. Well, that's great. I know he doesn't. That's why it's taken this in so hard to figure out what the hell happened. So anyway, if you see what I mean, it gets into better, no, I don't want the 911 tape, no, the circumstances are just what other people told me. Yeah, I know how suddenly it became unresponsive in grandmother's arms developed. It started out with story number 1 on the phone. I'm holding her. Reamer gets there. Oh, I was over here with her. Oh, the EMTs. Oh, I was on the sofa holding her when the officer arrived. No, you weren't. You were by the phone on the wall. Kid's laying on the floor dead. Shut up. You keep going on and on. Yeah, and the 4th story, with only the partial truth, the neighbor who's a nurse at the hospital, all corroborated. Then 5 and 6, Schiller and Reamer. I tell you, if you read this 30-page document, you gotta admit, it doesn't look real good for Schiller and Reamer. Oh, jelly bean. Oh, okay, now it's a jelly bean. They're over there at the house talking to him. Oh, really? I thought it was this breathing emergency. And they're unsure of the time frame that she was given the jelly bean before the yada, yada, yada. Well, she said it was right before, and she's telling both of them 2 different stories at the same time. They don't seem to, the quicker they get lied to, the faster they stop asking, and they skate out of there. Well, even if you were unsure of the time frame of the jelly bean bullshit, then are you supposed to make sure? So after I put this 30-page thing together, we're ready to meet. People have seen this, so the cops couldn't figure this out, huh? But anyway, the state health officer has always told them this. These things, there's 3 cassettes full of this. Is Gladys Carnes, this child fatality review panel. And all of a sudden, I get told, no, there's no crime here. So, I've always tried to be so reasonable about it too, because there's children involved. Juveniles, it's not good. Those kids should have been taken out of that home. That kid was like that way back. That's when they were living out in California. And, and Cindy, they moved out there to learn from the psychic. Ann got jealous because, she should have felt that, he read all the stuff on Ann. Now that's where we think the kid got the idea from, she could suffocate someone from his hand. But anyway, that stuff with Mizell, yeah, I don't know what the hell else. There's all kinds of... They're not part of the autopsy. Isn't that, they're not critical. As always, they say they're referring it back to the local people. That's just Gladys Carnes and this fatality review panel. I can't accept the social service reports from you. There's only about how many reports where the kid has threatened to kill her. And, you should hear that. So anyway, Mizell tries to, he doesn't try to get too specific about what happened. Well, that's funny, isn't it, though? Well, I understand what you're saying. Well, anyway, that's what I've tried to tell this packet. So I got to go to his superiors again to remind him that In North Dakota, Mizell just makes it up as he goes along. You're never to use his circumstances as a sudden incident or anything in an investigative manner or to be taken seriously in any other capacity like that. If there are other things out of the ordinary, it's not his job. He just puts down what they, told him, county coroner and local authorities, sudden incident stuff, and anything else is up to them. See, that's just, and then there's this. So anyway, if we have to go about the death certificate thing in a formal manner and have Mizell actually explain for it and try to defend it, he couldn't do it. He isn't going to make it. It's just not possible. He doesn't try to get too specific. Well, you should hear the other things he's telling me. This is all while I'm sitting at work, so he has no idea that he's being recorded. And, the first thing that made me turn that on is right after, before it was ever sent out, he starts telling me, well, we're not expecting to find anything. Well, no one's looked yet. I mean, no one's, everyone's always refused. Well, anyway, so this is what's going on, and I thought you should know, because Mizell can't, I'm serious, I don't think he can survive trying to. It would be best to just change it. There's more proof in this than they've probably ever seen. And all of a sudden we get this excuse about there's no crime because Mizell said. Well, that's how Mizell says things. I always try to make this clear to people. It's not going to turn out well for Mizell. I mean, I wouldn't want to try to explain for this. It's just that's why I tried to say ahead of time. This has to be corrected too, or someone can always stand there with an autopsy saying, hey, the examiner said this, so what's the deal? Okay, well, that's too bad, but... So, get a hold of someone if you want, and they better just figure out how they want to go about, correcting Mizell's difficulties or whatever they are.
Take care, Doug.
Yeah, you too, Peter.
Hey, Doug, have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, see ya.